These also are the generations of Aaron and Moses in the day that the Lord spake with Moses in Mount Sinai. And these are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nadab the firstborn, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, these priests which were anointed, whom he consecrated to minister in the priest's office. And Nadab and Abihu died before the Lord when they offered a strange fire before the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. And they had no children. And Eleazar and Ithamar ministered in the priest's office in the sight of Aaron their father. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Bring the tribe of Levi near, and present them before Aaron the priest, that they may minister unto him. And they shall keep his charge, and the charge of the whole congregation before the tabernacle of the congregation, to the service of the tabernacle. And they shall keep all the instruments of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the charge of the children of Israel to do the service of the tabernacle. And thou shalt give the Levites unto Aaron and to his sons. They are wholly given unto him out of the children of Israel. And thou shalt appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall wait on their priest's office, and the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. And the priest and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, And I, behold, I have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel, instead of all the firstborn that openeth the matrix among the children of Israel. Therefore the Levites shall be mine, because all the firstborn are mine. For on that day that I smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, I hallowed unto me all the firstborn in Israel, both man and beast. Mine shall they be. I am the Lord. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, saying, Number the children of Levi before the house of their fathers by their families, every male from a month old and upward shalt thou number them. And Moses numbered them according to the word of the Lord, as he was commanded. And these were the sons of Levi by their names: Gershon, and Kehath, and Merari. And these are the names of the sons of Gershon by their families: Libni, and Shimei. The sons of Kohath by their families: Amram, and Izahar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The sons of Merari by their families: Mali, and Mushi. These are the families of the Levites according to the house of their fathers. Of Gershon was the family of the Libnites, and the family of the Shemites. These are the families of the Gershonites. Those that were numbered of them, according to the number of all the males from a month old and upward, even those that were numbered of them were 7,500. The families of the Gershonites shall pitch behind the tabernacle westward. And the chief of the house of the father, and the chief of the house of the father of the Gershonites shall be Eliasaph, the son of Lael. And the charge of the sons of Gershon in the tabernacle of the congregation shall be the tabernacle and the tent, the covering thereof, and the hanging for the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the hangings of the court, and the curtain for the door of the court, which is by the tabernacle, and by the altar round about, and the cords of it, for all the service thereof. And Kohath was the family of the Amramites, Amramites, Aramites, Amramites, and the family of the Izaharites, and the family of the Hebronites, and the family of the Uzzielites. These are the families of the Kohathites. And the number of all the males from a month old and upward were 8,600, keeping the charge of the sanctuary. The families of the sons of Kohath shall pitch on the side of the tabernacle southward. And the chief of the house of the father of the families of the Kohathites shall be Elisaphan, the son of Uzziel. And their charge shall be the ark, and the table, and the candlestick, and the altars, and the vessels of the sanctuary wherewith they minister, and the hanging, and all the service thereof. And Eleazar the son of Aaron, the priest, shall be chief over the chief of the Levites, and have the oversight of them that keep the charge of the sanctuary. Of Merari was a family of the Malites, and the family of the Mushites. These are the families of Merari. And those that were numbered of them, according to the number of all the males, from a month old and upward, were 6,200. And the chief of the house of the father of the families of Merari was Zuriel, the son of Abihail. These shall pitch on the side of the tabernacle northward. And under the custody and charge of the sons of Merari shall be the boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and the sockets thereof, and all the vessels thereof, and all that serveth thereto, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords. But those that encamp before the tabernacle toward the east, even before the tabernacle of the congregation eastward, shall be Moses and Aaron and his sons, keeping the charge of the sanctuary for the charge of the children of Israel, and the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. All that were numbered of the Levites, which Moses and Aaron numbered at the commandment of the Lord, throughout their families, all the males from a month old and upward were 22,000. And the Lord said unto Moses, number all the firstborn of the males of the children of Israel from a month old and upward, and take the number of their names. And thou shalt take the Levites for me. I am the Lord, instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the cattle of the Levites instead of all the firstlings among the cattle of the children of Israel. And Moses numbered as the Lord commanded him all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and all the firstborn males by the number of names from a month old and upward, of those that were numbered of them, were 22,203 score and 13. And Moses spake unto Moses, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take the Levites instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the cattle of the Levites instead of their cattle, and the Levites shall be mine. I am the Lord. For those that are to be redeemed of the 260 and 13 of the firstborn of the children of Israel, which are more than the Levites, thou shalt even take 5 shekels apiece by the pole, after the shekel of the sanctuary shalt thou take them. The shekel is 20 gerahs. And thou shalt give the money wherewith the old with and thou shalt give the money wherewith the odd number of them is to be redeemed unto Aaron and to his sons. And Moses took the redemption money of them that were over and above them that were redeemed by the Levites. Of the firstborn of the children of Israel took he the money, 1,365 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. And Moses gave the money of them that were redeemed unto Aaron and to his sons, according to the word of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. Numbers chapter 4. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi, after their families, by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. This shall be the service of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregations about the most holy things. And when the camp setteth forward, Aaron shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil and cover the ark of the testimony with it. And shall put thereon the covering of badger skins, and shall spread over it a cloth wholly of blue, and shall put it in the staves thereof. And upon the table of showbread they shall spread a cloth of blue, and put thereon the dishes, and the spoons, and the bowls, and covers to cover withal. And the continual bread shall be thereon. And they shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet, and cover the same with a covering of badger skins, and shall put in the staves thereof. And they shall take a cloth of blue, and cover the candlestick of the light, and his lamps, and his tongs, and his snuff dishes, and all the oil vessels thereof, wherewith they minister unto it. And they shall put it, and all the vessels thereof, within a covering of badger skins, and shall put it upon a bar. And upon the golden altar they shall spread a cloth of blue, and cover it with a covering of badger skins, and shall put to the staves thereof. And they shall take all the instruments of ministry, wherewith they minister in the sanctuary, and put them in a cloth of blue, and cover them with a covering of badger skins, and shall put them on a bar. And they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread a purple cloth thereon. And they shall put upon it all the vessels thereof, wherewith they minister about it, even the censers, the flesh hooks, and the shovels, and the basins, all the vessels of the altar. And they shall spread upon it a covering of badger skins, and put to the staves of it. And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is to set forward. After that, the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it, but they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die. These things are the burdens of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation. And to the office of Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest pertaineth the oil for the light, and the sweet incense, and the daily meat offering, and the anointing oil, and the oversight of all the tabernacle, and of all that therein is, in the sanctuary, and in the vessels thereof. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Cut ye not off the tribe of the families of the Kohathites from among the Levites, but thus do unto them, that they may live and not die, when they approach unto the most holy things. Aaron and his sons shall go in, and appoint them every one to his service and to his burden. But they shall not go in to see when the holy things are covered, lest they die. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take also the sons of Gershon throughout the houses of their fathers by their families, from 30 years old and upward until 50 years old shalt thou number them, all that enter in to perform the service, to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. This is the service of the families of the Gershonites, to serve and for burdens. And they shall bear the curtains of the tabernacle, and the tabernacle of the congregation, his covering, and the covering of the badger skins that is above upon it, and the hanging for the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the hangings of the court, and the hanging for the door of the gate of the court, which is by the tabernacle, and by the altar round about, and their cords, and all the instruments of their service, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. At the appointment of Aaron and his sons shall be all the service of the sons of the Gershonites, in all their burdens, and in all their service, and ye shall appoint unto them in charge all their burdens. This is the service of the families of the sons of Gershon in the tabernacle of the congregation, and their charge shall be under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the priest. As for the sons of Merari, thou shalt number them after their families, by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, shalt thou number them. Every one that entereth into the service, to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation, and this is the charge of their burden, according to all their service in the tabernacle of the congregation, the boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and sockets thereof, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords, with all their instruments, and with all their service. And by name ye shall reckon the instruments of the charge of their burden. This is the service of the families of the sons of Merari, according to all their service, in the tabernacle of the congregation, under the hand of Ithamar the son of Aaron the priest. And Moses and Aaron and the chief of the congregation numbered the sons of the Kohathites after their families, and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, every one that entereth into the service, for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. For every one that entereth into the service, for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation, and those that were numbered of them by their families were 2,750. These were they that were numbered of the families of the Kohathites, all that might do service in the tabernacle of the congregation, which Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord by the hand of Moses. And those that were numbered of the sons of Gershon throughout their families, and by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, every one that entereth into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them throughout their families by the house of their fathers were 2,630. These are they that were numbered of the families of the sons of Gershon, of all that might do service in the tabernacle of the congregation, whom Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord. And those that were numbered of families of the sons of Merari throughout their families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, every one that entereth into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. Even those that were numbered of them after their families were 3,200. These be those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, whom Moses and Aaron numbered according to the word of the Lord by the hand of Moses. All those that were numbered of the Levites, whom Moses and Aaron and the chief priests of Israel numbered, after their families and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, every one that came to do the service of the ministry and the service of the burden in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them were 8,504 score, according to the commandment of the Lord. They were numbered by the hand of Moses, every one according to his service and according to his burden. Thus were they numbered of him, as the Lord commanded Moses. All right. Okay. All right. Luke chapter 5, and it came to pass that as the people pressed upon him to hear the word of God, he stood by the lake of Gennesaret and saw two ships standing by the lake. But the fishermen were gone out of them and were washing their nets. And he entered into one of the ships, which was Simeon's, and prayed him that he would thrust out a little from the land. And he sat down and taught the people out of the ship. Now when he had left speaking, he said unto Simeon, Launch out into the deep, and let down your nets for a draught. And Simon answered, saying unto him, Master, we have toiled all the night, and have taken nothing. Nevertheless, at thy word, I will let down the net. And when they had this done, they enclosed a great multitude of fishes, and their net brake. And they beckoned unto their partners, which were in the other ship, that they should come and help them. And they came and filled both the ships, so that they began to sink. And when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down to Jesus' feet, or knees rather, saying, Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord. For he was astonished, and all that were with him, at the draught of the fishes, which they had taken. And so also James and John, the sons of Zebedee, which were partners with Simon. And Jesus said unto Simon, Fear not, from henceforth thou shalt catch men. And when they had brought their ships to land, they forsook all and followed him. And it came to pass, when he was in a certain city, behold, a man full of leprosy, who seeing Jesus fell on his face, and besought him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. And he put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will, be thou clean. And immediately the leprosy departed from him. And he charged him to tell no man, but go and show thyself to the priest, and offer for thy cleansing, according as Moses commanded, for a testimony unto them. But so much the more went there a fame abroad of him, and great multitudes came together to hear and to be healed by him of their infirmities. And he withdrew himself into the wilderness and prayed. And it came to pass on a certain day, as he was teaching, that there were Pharisees and doctors of the law sitting by, which were come out of every town of Galilee and Judea and Jerusalem. And the power of the Lord was present to heal them. And behold, men brought in a bed man which was taken with a palsy, and they sought means to bring him in and to lay him before him. And when they could not find by what way they might bring him in because of the multitude, they went upon the housetop and let him down through the tiling with his couch into the midst before Jesus. And when he saw their faith, he said unto him, Man, thy sins are forgiven thee. And the scribes and the Pharisees began to reason, saying, Who is this which speaketh blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God alone? For when Jesus perceived their thoughts, he answering said unto them, What reason ye in your hearts? Whether it is easier to say, Thy sins be forgiven thee, or say, Rise up and walk. But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power upon earth to forgive sins, he said unto the sick of palsy, I say unto thee, Rise, and take up thy couch, and go into thine house. And immediately he rose up before them, and took up that whereon he lay, and departed to his own house, glorifying God. And they were all amazed, and they glorified God, and were filled with fear, saying, We have seen strange things today. And after these things he went forth, and he saw a publican named Levi sitting at the receipt of custom. And he said unto him, Follow me. And he left all, rose up, and followed him. And Levi made him a great feast in his own house. And there was a great company of publicans and of others that sat down with them. But their scribes and Pharisees murmured against his disciples, saying, Why do ye eat and drink with publicans and sinners? And Jesus answering said unto them, They that are whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. And they said unto him, Why do the disciples of John fast often and make prayers, and likewise the disciples of the Pharisees, but thine eat and drink? And he said unto them, Can ye make the children of the bride chamber fast, while the bridegroom is with them? Can ye make the children of the bride chamber fast, while the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken away from them, and then shall they fast in those days. And he spake also a parable unto them. No man putteth a piece of new garment upon an old, If otherwise, then both the new maketh a rent, and the piece that was taken out of the new agreeth not with the old. And man putteth new wine, no man, and no man putteth new wine into old bottles, else the new wine will burst the bottles and be spilled, and the bottles shall perish. But new wine must be put into new bottles, and both are preserved. No man also having drunk old wine straightway desireth new, for he saith, the old is better. Mhm. Mhm. Yes. Okay. First Corinthians chapter 8. Now as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing, yet as he ought to know. But if any man love God, the same is known of him. As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other God but one. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many, and lords many, but to us there is but one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord Jesus Christ, by whom all things, by whom are all things, and we by him. Howbeit, there is not in every man that knowledge, for some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled. But meat commendeth us not to God. For neither, if we eat, are we the better, neither, if we eat not, are we the worse. But take heed, lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak. For if any man see thee, which hath knowledge, for if any man see thee, which hast knowledge, sit at meat in the idol's temple, Shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols? And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish for whom Christ died? But when ye sin so against the brethren, and would and wound their weak conscience, ye sin against Christ. Wherefore, if meat make my brother to offend, I will eat no flesh while the world standeth, lest I make my brother to offend. Psalm 70. To the chief musician, a psalm of David to bring to remembrance. Make haste, O God, to deliver me. Make haste to help me, O Lord. Let them be ashamed and confounded that seek my soul. Let them be turned backward and put to confusion that desire my hurt. Let them be turned back for a reward of their shame that say, Aha, aha. Let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. And let such as love thy salvation say continually, let God be magnified. But I am poor and needy, make haste unto me. O God, thou art my help and my deliverer. O Lord, make no tarrying. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Perfecto. All right, good deal. Oh, Lord, help me. Help me. All right, do that. Okay. Economic action. Economic action step 9, promote the competitive advantages of black communities. Urban black neighborhoods have excellent competitive business advantages. These black neighborhoods have good strategic locations, workforce, market demands, disposable incomes, little business competition, lands and buildings, and a great potential for high returns on investments. Until recently, there was little interest in promoting black urban communities for anything. But times are changing for the better. As stated earlier, the nation has always had flourishing alternative economies in ethnic communities. Blacks should similarly build and promote their urban business communities and the numerous business advantages. Inside of every urban black area, there is wealth. It's called infrastructure. It includes assets such as highways, bridges, museums, skyscrapers, expressways, mass transportation, sewage plants, water facilities, and electronic media. Nearly all of the majority black cities are located on natural waterways. Nearly all the major black cities are located on natural waterways. The resident the resident black populations have disposable income and represent a large labor pool. We can rebuild our neighborhoods and into communities by using the competitive advantages of the geographical location, consumer markets, population concentration, human resources, and disposable income of black communities. Mhm. Economic action. Step number 10. Establish safe business zones based upon a code of conduct in black business communities. In chapter 3, we discussed how as black America builds functional communities, it will need to establish safe zones. Safe zones are also important for black business communities. Without safe business zones, our business communities cannot bloom and flourish. Of course, in an ideal setting, we want an entire community that is crime free, but that's not realistic. So, let's begin by protecting our new business communities and start enforcing a new code of conduct that spells out acceptable standards of behavior and is promoted and enforced by all segments of the community. The code should include creative means to challenge and punish those who violate these business communities. See chapter 3. Consumers will not become customers if they or their property are under physical threat. Safe business zones would be areas where these threats would not be allowed to exist. Increased business and employment opportunities for black people in the communities should be a positive incentive that reduces neighborhood crime. A major reason people steal is because it pays. In some instances, crime pays so well it is hard to control. But crime must be brought under control in black communities, and those who violate the new conduct norms should experience consequences. The community can use a variety of techniques to control crime. In the past, community groups have used such techniques as social and economic marginalization. Each community, or at least a critical mass of blacks, must decide what penalties to levy and enforce through the legal systems or other socio-economic mechanisms. As soon as they are formed, black business communities should declare their independence through an economic bill of rights. Then they should mark their business turf as safe zones in which to do business. The political structures in various cities should endorse the Economic Bill of Rights and allocate resources to build the safe business zones. Working together, governments and the communities can enforce sanctions from within and outside of the community and strengthen the social bonds between blacks and government. Special public safety special public safety tax a special public safety tax can be enacted to can be enacted just to support police protection within the zone. The business owners themselves could pool funds for special security service. But the best protection would come from an active and committed citizens group that would simply just say no to crime conducted in their safe business zone. The safe business zones should be treated in a manner similar to smoke and drug-free zones with strong enforcement support. Even though increased incarceration will not necessarily reduce crime, legal sanctions should include municipal ordinances and laws that impose additional fines and penalties on those convicted of violating persons or properties within these areas. Crime-free areas would encourage new business development, increase land values, and instill pride in black communities. Financial compensation from convicted offenders could flow back to the injured communities. Similarly, persons incarcerated for crimes committed in the safe zones should be required to work in some public service capacity in the same community where the crime was committed. The present high crime rate in black communities is a gift from the integration process rather. It emerged with a breakdown in black communities and black families. As blacks grow increasingly disenchanted with integration, now is the time to reclaim our blackness and Afro-American culture, shore up our splintered families, and build black business communities round our self-interests and needs. Strict zoning within the safe business zones can anticipate and prevent unnecessary social problems. Land use and other zoning policies in the safe zone should prohibit mixing public services, residential housing, and religious structures. Economic Action Plan number 11, amass vision, capital, and wealth. Vision, capital, and wealth through community-based financial efforts. Typically, the first question raised by skeptics of black economic power is, where will blacks get money to establish and operate black businesses and black businesses and industries and to practice group economics? No matter how committed we are to an economically empowered black America, we must be realistic. Without investment capital, there will be no black businesses or industries. According to Melvin L. Oliver and Thomas M. Shapiro in their book, Black Wealth, White Wealth, 61% of black households are marginal with the majority of their assets in automobile and home ownership. Our challenge then is to identify creative ways to amass capital to finance our own empowerment. Now, to the question asked at the beginning of this action step, where do blacks get the money to start businesses and industries? They get it first from themselves. They begin with their annual disposable incomes. We must begin to save more of the little we do have. We cannot continue to be this nation's biggest consumer market. We cannot continue to be this nation's biggest consumer market. Of our $500 billion of annual disposable income, we are nearly 100% consumers and 0% producers. Consuming is a negative. Consuming is a negative in a capitalistic society. Consuming means to use up or exhaust. Contrary to the rhetoric of marketing agencies, consumer power does not exist in a capitalistic society. Consuming is a weakness. Consuming is a weakness. It is the producer. It is the producer. It is the producer of what is consumed who has the power, not the consumer. To amass capital means black must reduce their consumption and redirect their money into savings for investment purposes. In this step, we call to our experts. We call on our experts in the area of finance and capital development to help us apply the Powernomics principles to develop a national plan for black access to capital. This must be an organized effort. Our plan should be founded on the belief that to create black capital and black wealth and political power, we must amass large amounts of capital. Control and access to capital, which is simply surplus wealth used to produce additional wealth, is a major step towards collective enrichment and community empowerment. There are three primary sources of large amounts of capital: public markets, traditional financial institutions, and private markets. Public stock offerings provide corporate financing through open solicitation to the public at large. However, corporate public offerings must be approved and regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is a very important source of equity funds. It is expensive, technical, and time-consuming. Most black Americans are more familiar with institutional lenders, such as banks, credit unions, and community development corporations. All of these sources should be explored in seeking debt and equity for entrepreneurial projects. It is a statistical pattern, however, that a high proportion of black borrowers are denied loans. To borrow capital from a traditional lender, a borrower must already have capital, surplus, surplus wealth, collateral, or guarantors. Equity funds are scarce. Just like wealth begets wealth, poverty begets poverty. Blacks must organize and operate their own banks, credit unions, CDCs, savings, and loans. Venture capital firms and investment clubs equity funds are scarce. Just like wealth begets wealth, poverty begets poverty. Blacks must organize and operate their own banks, credit unions, CDCs, community development corporations, uh, savings and loans, venture venture capital firms, and investment clubs. Okay, where they already exist, support them and demand that if they are in your neighborhood, they support Powernomics community building efforts. Reparations is outside the traditional sources of capital, but it is a bill that is owed to black people and one that we must present to the nation for payment. Reparations for black people is no longer a far-fetched issue for parlor room discussions. It is now a necessity. Making restitution for damages is rooted in our legal system and has been used by industrialized nations as a mechanism to apologize for and correct institutional wrongs. Reparations payment for centuries of slavery and Jim Crow semi slavery can take many forms. Government or private corporations can make restitution through efforts as cash payments, land grants, educational scholarships, tax exempt status, and free healthcare. Cash payments should go into regional development banks. From which black Americans could draw down equity capital for business investments. These banks should be established specifically to allocate those funds as vision capital for blacks. Funds should be used only for projects that promote the Powernomics vision of self-sufficient and competitive black America. And competitive black America. Okay. All right. Economic Action Plan number 12. Establish international economic alliances and marketing agreements between Black America, Black Africa, and Caribbean nations. Economic Action Step number 12. Establish international economic alliances market agreements between Black America and Black America, Black Africa, and Caribbean nations, while building its own competitive yet complementary economic structure. Black America should also play the lead role in constructing international economic alliances and making arrangements between the sub Saharan African countries, the Caribbean, mm, and the nation of Brazil. Collectively, these nations and Black Americans, as a nation within a nation, have a total human population of nearly a billion people. Yet, these billion black people are all economically marginalized. They are forgotten. They are forgotten people living in the shadows of all other human groupings as a third world of third world nations. As indicated in Table 5, black people are consistently at the bottom of the barrel. Okay? The combined legacies of slavery and colonization left them severely impoverished, politically unstable, and ethnically conflicted to the point that they are vulnerable to and cannot respond to common natural disasters, famine, diseases, and the ravages of poverty. Within the next decade, the greater question will not be whether poor black nations can compete, but whether they will even physically survive. There is a direct relationship between pecking order, poverty, and powerlessness, and major health problems such as AIDS and other emerging diseases. Emerging diseases. Some scholars predict that up to half of the blacks in Africa may perish by the year 2013. If the devastation from AIDS, famine, civil war, and natural disasters continue on their present course, the appendix. Okay, if this occurs, the natural resources of Black Africa will be up for grabs. This timetable fits. This timetable fits in with the cycle of wealth, which by that time would have moved beyond technology to natural resources. At that point, there will be another rush to Africa to claim the resources, just as whites did at the Berlin Conference of 1875. Black African countries, just like many other third world nations, tried a variety of tactics to break free from the first and second world domination. Some tried nationalizing Western companies and land rights, setting up commodity and exporting cartels, subsidizing indigenous manufacturing to achieve import substitution, or campaigning for a new world order based upon redistribution of the existing imbalances of wealth. None of these tactics have worked to the degree that these black countries could industrialize and move out of the third world category. They failed not because the ideas were bad, but because of opposition from leading industrial democracies, the have nations. Y'all can't do that. The leading industrial democracies protect their vested interests from competition from third world and developing nations. The first and second world, the first and second world countries have all the trump cards. They use a variety of institutional devices to keep the smaller nations non-competitive and outside of the major commercial markets. As indicated below, in a global comparison of the wealth and technically trained people within nations, there are grotesque disparities between black nations and the rest of the world. The wealth and education gap between black and non-black countries is too great for them to catch up and compete on their own. Global success of black people is contingent upon many ifs. If black America can build functional business communities with industries, if it can establish its own source of economic funding, if it can link up a national network of black consumer markets. And most importantly, if it can become the economic and political capital for diasporan blacks around the world. If all those ifs can be managed, all the black people of the world will be in a better position to ally with America's blacks and begin to work together to resolve our institutional dilemma. Only black Americans are in a position to lead. Only black Americans are in the position to lead the world's black population. Only black Americans are in a position to lead the world's black population. The world's black population. They have the advantage of being within the United States, within enemy territory, behind enemy lines. There are more skilled and highly trained blacks here than any other major black population on earth. But by every measure of wealth, and human capital, blacks everywhere in the world are on the bottom. Therefore, we must be on a mission and come together in an alliance for strength. World distribution of wealth and human capital. Okay. Switzerland, per capita gross domestic product, GDP, Switzerland. Okay, Switzerland's gross gross domestic, gross domestic product, 36,300. Sweden, 32,600. Japan, 29,000. Germany, 27,900. Canada, 23,100. United States, 23,100. Austria, 24,800. Nigeria, 27 or 207. No, 278. Engineers and scientists per million of population. World distribution of wealth and human capital. Engineers and scientists per million. Japan, 3,548. US, 2,685. Europe, 1,632. Latin America, 209. Arab states, 202. Asia, sans Japan, except Japan, excluding Japan, 99. Africa, 53 per million. Burundi, 43. World distribution of wealth per country, per capita. Australia, 835,000. Canada, 704,000. Japan, 565,000. United States, 421,000. Russia, 98,000. Mexico, 74,000. Ethiopia, 1,400. Black Africa, negative 1,000. Promise you. Okay. I appreciate the gift. Okay. It is now time to exercise. Ándale pues.